Maryland. In just a second, our buddy Andrew Stetka will check in with his Stets and Figures for the week. Then later on, our friend Brad Kronthal from Alloy Sports will go over the baseball slate. Obviously, very exciting weekend, the start of college football season. Lots of baseball, big fight on Sunday night. Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz. The U.S. Open continues to be going on, and that's a great reason for you to go show up today in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Sit down, camp out. You can get a betting pad, bet on tennis all day long. You can still go to their 61 self-service kiosks. And don't forget, right now, any $50 or more NFL bet will get you registered for a spot in the awesome Fanduel Combine coming up on September 11th. So you're going to want to be a part of that. Let's head out to the desert. It's a new phrase I just came up with. My friend in the desert. Just thought of that myself. Very clever. He's my buddy Andrew Stetka. He's got his Stets and Figures. What's going on, pal? How are you?
Good morning, Glenn. How you doing?
You trying to pretend like you haven't lost 2 out of the last 3 football picks contests?
I'm not trying to pretend that at all. I just, you're acting like I lose every single year, and that's not the case.
But it's 2. Is it, again, am I saying anything incorrect here? You've lost 2 out of the last 3.
I've lost two out of the last 6 or 7 that we've done.
No, wait. That's not the question that I asked.
Look, I
asked.
I said you're right.
I asked. I'm gonna. What do they say in the Senate? I'm going to retake my time.
Reclaim your time.
Reclaim my time. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking to say. I'm going to reclaim my time. Have you lost 2 out of the last 3?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. You used to be good at picking soccer, but even that went awry the last time we did this.
Last Liverpool has really been a pain in my rear end the last few times we've tried to pick them, and that's why we're shying away from that this week.
And I can't believe you and I both were bet against the Ravens in the preseason. What the hell's wrong with us? What the hell's wrong with us?
The thing that really bugs me about that is that we've got to hear about it again next year.
Oh, I assure you, it's a far bigger problem. But still.
I mean, honestly, I was really trying to will it to happen so that I didn't have to hear this going into.
But that's not a good way to bet. That's not the way you're supposed to bet with your head.
The number was there. We were getting almost 2-1 on a stupid preseason game. What can you say?
Last time out, Stetka did get the under 9 in the Cubs-Orioles game. Is that boy? If you remember, that one random Thursday game was miserable, a 3-2 Orioles loss. He had the Seattle Storm winning the series against the Mystics, which was very simple, 2-0. You also suggested that maybe you want to tease a little bit of money on the Storm winning the WNBA title.
Yes.
They are now even, correct, as they lost last night. So it's 1-1 in that series with the Aces in the semifinals. And then
but got to win on the road against the top seed.
That is true. Deal, so. That is true. And then lost the other 2. So he split last time around. We'll try to do better than that this time. Stets and Figures. Andrew, where are we headed first?
We're going all college football this week.
Oh, God.
We're staying away from soccer.
We're
staying away from baseball.
Why would you do that?
We've dug in on the college football.
No.
So let's start with a game tonight. Central Michigan travels to play Oklahoma State, and we're going to bet the total in this game, and we're going to go under the 58.5. Now I know unders are not sexy. Nobody likes to bet unders, but it's sensible in this sense. Excuse me, it's 57.5 now. The line has moved a little bit. The under for both of these teams was a combined 15-9 last season. They're both teams that are going to run the ball more than they're going to throw the ball, meaning the clock will be moving. And Oklahoma State has a good rushing attack. Don't get me wrong. They can put up some points. But Central Michigan also posted a top 20 rush defense last season. So I have a feeling that they'll be able to handle that a little bit. And Central Michigan also finished the season last year on a 3-0 streak of unders. So the under is the play for Central Michigan against Oklahoma State tonight. Again, that line moved a little bit this morning. I had it at 58.5 last night when I looked at it. It's down to 57.5, but we still like it at that number.
I mean, I sure as hell don't know any better, so I'm willing to ride with you on this. Let's go Chippewas, or let's go no one, I guess, is what we're really. That's eternally
let's run the ball.
Right, correct. Eternally, the problem with betting the unders is you hate everything. Like anything happens in the game. This is the real issue that I have with betting unders, and why I almost don't do it at all. It's like you can't watch the game because literally anything occurs and you're furious. One completed pass, you're like, no! But then it's an incomplete pass on third down, and you're like, well, now the other team can get the ball and do something. Everything that happens in the game infuriates you when you're an unders better.
It's true. You just have to root for running the ball, staying in bounds, maybe a red zone turnover here or there. Yeah. But for me, it's a sensible play.
I hear you. Michigan, I'm not telling you you're wrong. It's just a difficult thing to do. That's all. All right, next one.
I hear you. We'll go Saturday afternoon. San Diego State is going to open up a new stadium and host Arizona. Now, these two teams met last season. And San Diego State won that game 38-14.
Well, that's because Arizona stinks.
Well, yeah, Arizona was 1-11 last season, and San Diego State ended up winning 12 games, including their bowl game. The line in this game is only 5.5, which is why we're taking San Diego State. It's a little puzzling that the line is that thin. The Aztecs were 3-1 against the spread last September and have covered in 4 of their last 5 against Pac-12 schools. Arizona is also 5-12 against the spread in their last 17 non-conference games, and they are 8-24 against the spread in their last 32 on the road. San Diego State boasted a top 15 defense last season. Arizona's got a transfer coming in from Washington State. It's just a really thin line. I feel like this line should be closer to 10 or maybe even upwards of 2 touchdowns, and it's only 5.5. So I'm jumping on San Diego State minus 5.5 on Saturday afternoon. They're hoping to have a big crowd out there for a new stadium.
It's the first game at the new stadium in San Diego. By the way, this is not. Are they still trying to get soccer in San Diego? Is that still a thing? I remember they were trying to push for an MLS team.
They have a USL team out there. I don't know for sure that the MLS is going to be out there anytime soon.
No, but that's what I remember when the NFL. I know you love the USL, but that's not a thing. I'm sorry, I love you, and I hope we get it in Baltimore at some point. I trust
it. It is out there. I mean, that's kind of my point. The team out there gets a lot of support.
I understand that, but not that they would be playing in the 30,000 seat college football stadium that they built. Like, you're not going to play a USL match in there in case unless you just. Like losing money.
Right. They actually play at the University of San Diego.
Right. What I remember is that when they were building the stadium, there was talk that it would be a hybrid for both college football and for a potential MLS team that they were looking to get there. And I just didn't remember if they were still in. And you know a thing or two about soccer, or at least you used to. So I was wondering if you knew they were still in the MLS conversation.
How dare you?
Well, I don't know. Have you seen your results recently?
How dare you?
Have you seen your results? All right, let's move forward. Number 3, Andrew Stetka with the Stets and Figures here on Weekend at Bookies.
We're going to go to a marquee game that you guys spoke about a little earlier on Glenn Clark Radio. That's Notre Dame, Ohio State.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a really good program. I listen to it.
Let's not get carried away. Let's not say things that we're going to regret. We can enjoy the show and yet acknowledge that it's not that good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Humility is key.
Yeah.
I don't like either of these teams, and I don't like Ohio State especially, but they are much superior. It's really weird. Notre Dame is like a top 5 ranked team, and throw out all the rankings in week 1. It's so dumb. But
yes,
it's a big line. But I really like Ohio State minus 17.5 in this game. The Irish are really banged up on their offensive line. They have a very, very weak secondary. And I can see C.J. Stroud just cooking in this game, just having a day. This feels like a statement game for Ohio State coming out. I could see them putting up 40-plus points in this game quite easily. So I really like them minus the 17.5. Notre Dame's just working. They're working with a lot of new pieces, and you just don't know how they're going to come together. They've got new pieces offensively, a new coach. I even kind of lean to the over 59.5 as well, but I'm going to take the minus 17.5 for Ohio State in this game.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't like the fact that you feel that way because it doesn't make me feel good. So it's a very conflicting moment for me as I'm in utter agreement. Although, as I said, Ohio State is always good for an inexplicable clunker. Like, they'll be chugging along, and then they'll go play Penn State, and somehow they'll just I don't know what it is. Ohio State is always good for one inexplicable clunker, and maybe it's week 1. Other than that, again, their talent is absurd. I mean, it is just ridiculous what they present offensively. And so,
Well, and on the other side of the coin, doesn't it kind of feel like Notre Dame could just get their butts thoroughly kicked against Ohio State, and then go out and have a pretty good season. Like go out and post 9 or 10 wins and actually have a.
Well, are they playing anybody else?
Well, they've got their normal. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Right.
They're going to have their normal kind of array of a smattering of teams that they'll be able to beat a little bit, but I just don't see them competing with Ohio State.
Okay, so they've got Clemson this year. They do actually play a game this year, so they've got this is probably the most reasonable Notre Dame schedule in some time, which does not bode well for them because when they play a trickier schedule, of course, right now, like Clemson's the number 4 team in the country. They were also very well highly thought of a year ago, and as it turns out, they weren't that good. So we'll find out. USC is the number 14 team in the country right now. We'll find out if USC is really that good. So on paper, Notre Dame is playing a better schedule this year than they played in other years, but it could turn out to work very much in their benefit where these teams just don't end up being that good or as good as they thought. But yeah, I'm with you. All right, and finally,
we're going to go late Saturday night. Everybody loves a late Saturday night game. It's a 10:30 Eastern kickoff out in Corvallis. Oregon State is hosting Boise State. Oregon State last season had a really, really bad defense. They were allowing 5.8 yards per play defensively, and they're returning 9 starters. Now, they had a top offense, but they've also lost 2 of their offensive linemen and their running back. Boise State is returning 10 of their 11 starters on a top 50 defense, and the betting lines have actually moved trending toward Boise State in this game. Boise State right now getting 2.5 points, and I'm jumping on it at minus 106. Give me the Broncos over the Oregon State Beavers on Saturday night late. I feel like Boise State should be favored in this game, even though they're on the road.
But that's my question. Like, if you're going to play them at minus 2.5, why not just pick them to win and get the plus money?
Fair, yeah. You can get them at plus 116 on the money line right now. I like the insurance of you're only paying minus 106 for the plus 2.5. So if something weird happens with an extra point or something here and there, college kickers are not always the most reliable.
But you're buying yourself 2 points. I don't know. I feel like if you're making a 2.5 bet, I'm not. Obviously, there have been teams that have covered very small numbers. I understand that there is. When this game finishes 23-21, Andrew's going to say, "Ha ha! I told you, you idiot!" But to me personally, if you're playing that number, you might as well play him on the money line and just go for it. Like it's after 3, like at 3.5. Okay, I get it. It's a field goal. Like I understand that. But anything smaller than 3, I always feel like just play him on the money line. Just go ahead and do it.
I hear you, but you're also looking at the difference between minus 106 and plus 116.
I get it. It's not significant. I understand. It's not significant. I understand that. Well, because it's talking about 2 points. I get it. All right. Very good. At Stetka on Twitter is how you follow him. I hope that I'm in a weird spot. I hope these picks do well and the rest of your picks don't.
Well, that's just rude and disrespectful. So I don't,
you ever,
I don't know how to feel about that.
Have you ever eaten a worm before? You ever consumed worm?
I have had crickets before.
Yeah.
But I don't know about worm. I can't remember a time.
When I was a child, there was a book called How to Eat Fried Worms, and for extra credit, I believe our 4th grade teacher, 3rd grade, 4th grade, don't remember which one it was. We a group of the boys in the class said, "Would you give us extra credit if we ate fried worms?" And somehow we convinced her for the answer to be yes. But she said, "Hey, you got to go get a permission slip signed by your parents. Like you got to do a whole thing." And I said, "No problem, on it." And
of course.
None of the girls in the class got their permission slip signed, and so she said, "Sorry, I can't go through with this. You can't have the extra credit." But being that we were 8 or 9-year-old boys, we of course just decided to go out and eat some worms anyway. It's a thing that.
Have you ever had tuna and sardines juice down an ice luge or a tarantula, perhaps?
I have actually, not as much as you, but I have. I did try it when you were here, as you remember.
Fair enough.
All right, buddy. We will talk to you in 2 weeks. Thank you, pal.
All right. Cheers, Glenn.
Andrew Stetka, Stets and Figures here on Weekend at Bookies. When we come back in, we'll talk about the day's baseball slate. Our pal Brad Kronthal from Alloy Sports will check in with us next. Weekend at Bookies brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland.
Hey Birdland, arrive early at the Yard on Saturday, September 3rd, when the first 15,000 fans 15 and over will receive the first ever Orioles soccer jersey presented by Pepsi. Don't miss out on this brand new crossover kit before the Orioles clash with the Oakland A's at 7:05 at the ballpark that forever changed baseball. What better way to celebrate Labor Day weekend than with your favorite home team on a Saturday night? Great seating options are available, and tickets start as low as $15 at Orioles.com/tickets.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Come experience Maryland's #1 sportsbook this NFL season at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, the ultimate place for any sports enthusiast. Take advantage of our 24/7 kiosks, massive video screens, and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. With more money paid out than anyone around, make every moment more at the new Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
The 2022 baseball season is in full swing, and the future is brighter than ever for your Baltimore Orioles. I'm Paul Valley.
And I'm Zach Goodman.
And together we bring you the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon with everything you need to know about the Orioles and baseball as a whole. From veterans like Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Ryan Mountcastle,
to young stars like Adley Rutschman, Grayson Rodriguez, and DL Hall.
We've got you covered for every game, every pitch,
and every debut.
You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or you can listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So join us live on the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
Summer is in full swing, and so is the summer seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Start with the opener, flash fried pork belly with their popular Korean No. 2 sauce. And try their South Carolina barbecue chicken, or backed by popular demand, the lobster roll with grilled corn. Also try the irresistible crab and lobster fries, or the very berry salad with chicken. And for dessert, the Cracker Jack sundae with a waffle, ice cream, and Cracker Jacks. This menu will be gone. Find out more and get your order in at glorydaysgrill.com. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens tight end Mark Andrews' path to NFL stardom, from his late decision to play the sport full-time through having to overcome type 1 diabetes and more. Also, inside, we introduce you to football players at Maryland, Navy, Towson, and Morgan State. And we give you everything you need to know for betting football this season. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Demos, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
It's statistically proven that the show sounds better if you're not wearing pants. Like me, right now. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
Well, actually, it's weekend at Bookies here on a Thursday, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Just for you-know-whats and giggles. It's been a heck of a run for Serena Williams so far, as she knocked off number 2 seed Annette Kontaveit last night. And, why don't we just take a look-see, huh? Serena Williams is now the 6th favorite to win the U.S. Open at 15-1. Iga Swiatek, who's never won the U.S. Open, still the favorite at 3-1. Coco Gauff is the second favorite at 10-1. Garcia also 10-1. Samsonova at 11-1. Sabalenka 12-1. Then Serena at 15-1. So if you think something magical is occurring in New York, there is an opportunity for you to go make some money putting a bet down on Serena Williams.
Would you recommend putting that bet?
No, I would not recommend putting that bet. But, as I said, if she plays like she played last night, she can beat anybody. Anybody at all. It's really difficult for me to imagine her playing like that for 2 straight weeks. But, if she plays like that, I swear to God, she can beat anybody in the tournament. The other big event coming up this weekend, big fight, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz. Ruiz a minus 430 favorite, Ortiz at plus 290. Let's talk about today's baseball slate. Joining us now, our buddy from Alloy Sports. He is a friend, Mr. Brad Kronthal, and he's back with us now here on Weekend at Bookies. What's going on, pal? How are you?
All good, Glenn. Busy, getting ready for football. We're ready to, get our stuff out next week, but pumped up, and baseball's been awesome. So excited to chat about it with you.
Before we get to baseball, let's talk about that. What you guys are doing at Alloy Sports, as you point out, football really starts, the NFL starts next week. What is going to be available for folks via Alloy Sports for football season?
Absolutely. So we're building an app. Mobile app will be available. When you're in a state that's legal, that's the way you're betting. So even if not, this is the way to do your research. That's handheld. We'll have that ready, this weekend, and plan to launch it next week. We'll see if the Apple Store corresponds with that, but that's our plan, is for next week to be live with football. And we have some really great stuff ahead.
And does it going to work the same way that it's worked for basketball for other sports?
Absolutely. In fact, we made it even cleaner. So, again, with the mobile design, just making the process really easy. 2 platforms to choose from, whether it be our quick start, where you can build a strategy in 30 seconds or less, or a regular platform, which, again, we've made that really simplified, a lot easier, but lets you go really in depth in the stats, the filters you want to add to a particular game. If you want to look at good rushing teams, good passing teams, but then take it as far as, do you want to look at teams playing indoors, outdoors, if it's inside a dome, if it's raining, teams on a winning streak. So we really let you get granular in that respect as well.
There's a lot of data that will be available for you via Alloy Sports, and again, the app ready to go as football season gets underway. All right, Brad, let's talk about today's baseball slate, which includes the Orioles wrapping up a series with the Guardians. Just throw something out at me. Tell me, what's catching your eye? What do you like as you look at the slate today?
Yeah, there's one bet that I do like. I like, unfortunately today, I like Shane Bieber's over strikeout count, over 6.5. Listen, I want the Orioles. They struck out 12 times last night.
I know.
And did fine in the end result. So Orioles, they've struck out 10 or more times in 4 out of the last 6 games. Bieber has struck out 7 or more in 4 of his last 6 games. So kind of going with the trend there, though. Gunnar Henderson, love that kid. Really excited to watch him today.
Look, man, the Orioles offense is kind of what it is at this point. I certainly understand why it is. That's the way that you feel. I'm going to root for you to be wrong, obviously. I'm going to root like hell for that, but I certainly understand why you feel that way. Anything else that you see that says, this catches my eye?
Yeah, one game that's pretty interesting to me, and I don't love betting the over-unders in baseball. It's just so finicky from night to night, especially when you get 2 aces out there. You think you'll get, it will easily hit under 7.5, and then the teams go 8-7, and that's the game. I like Colorado-Atlanta. With that said, I like Colorado-Atlanta going the under 8 today or tonight in Atlanta. So it's Spencer Strider, who's been killing it, rookie starter for the Braves, and Chad Kuhl for the Rockies. Last start against the Braves, Kuhl went 6 scoreless, and Strider has given up literally 1 earned run. That's it, just 1 earned run in 5 of his last 6 starts. So seeing that number where it is, it's in Atlanta, not in Colorado. I expect Strider to cruise. It's kind of like, will Kuhl hold up his end of the bargain? And we'll see how that plays. But I like the under 8 tonight in Atlanta. Those are my 2 baseball bets today.
Okay. All right. I don't have any reason to disagree with you about that. I like the thought process. Under 8 for the Atlanta-Colorado game tonight. What else what's going on in your world, Brad? What else is on your mind?
Yeah, so wanted to share one cool strategy that we've built so far for NFL. So I do want to share this with the viewers, is when you're betting NFL or really any sport, you want to build up the sample size, before you get really confident in your bets and your strategy. So week 1 in football, week 2 even, those are kind of going back with our process to last year or previous years. So you do want to be cognizant as players move around, coaching changes are made, new schemes are developed, and the opponents look different as well. So the way we work is back-tested data and using that to, help you bet with those numbers into the upcoming game. So one strategy that we did build that we look to run and save that for when new users sign up, we'll provide that for them. We didn't come up with a name for it yet, but this is a sneak preview. It's a strategy. We'll tell you the stats. So it comes off of broken rushing tackles per game.
Okay.
At higher number there. And teams that, as an offense, commit lower penalty yards per game. And looking solely at and then looking solely at road teams in this scenario.
So, and why is that? Why just road teams?
We wanted to see how it worked. We got better results when it was just road teams versus overall. So, honestly, it's just trial and error. You're playing around. You see the numbers. Hey, maybe how do road teams perform versus just every team straight up? So, we got results of since 2019. We ran it for 3 years. The results were 71, 46, and 6 against the spread if you were a close underdog. So, we're determining that spread range between 0 and +5. So basically a 58% win percentage. If your team was better at these categories, they were on the road, and then they were in the spread range of 0 to +5. So a 58% win percentage, a 15% return on investment for you. There's a game that fits in week 1. And again, be cognizant of week 1, week 2 games with the back-tested data. You like to build up that sample size. But it is a game that it's looking towards is the Patriots +3 at Miami.
Interesting. So they fit this. I like this. I like you. Patriots +3 at Miami. I might scramble. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. We're in Maryland. I'm not allowed to do that. Never mind. Definitely not. I will write it on this piece of paper, and I will go to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, and I will get that in. That is next level type of stuff. That's what Alloy Sports is all about. I love that, man. All right, remind everybody where they can find you, where they can find Alloy, the whole deal, social media, website, one more time.
Yeah, you can find me at B_Kronthal, KRONTHAL. You can really follow us at Alloy Sports, and then come to our website, alloysports.com. Be wary of our mobile app. It's coming out real soon, looking at next week. And come to Alloy, build winning betting strategies. We'll help you, sports bettors win more bets.
Love it, man. Brad Kronthal, appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, all right?
Sounds great, Glenn. Thanks.
That is Brad Kronthal from Alloy Sports joining us here on Weekend at Bookies. All right. Now, as we wind down for this week's episode of the show, let's find out if Griffin can make it back-to-back. If you were not with us 2 weeks ago, Griffin's gratuitous grouping hit for the first time. Now, only like 3 tries, right? So it's not like he's missed a lot of them. It wasn't looking promising at first because I was missing like 2 of the 3 legs that I was going with. But you went tennis. I went tennis, CFL, Canadian football, and then MMA. And UFC. And you went 3 for 3. Yes, I did. Can you make it back-to-back? I think I can. What does Griffin's gratuitous grouping look like this week? I accidentally just deleted the whole bet slip I had. Great. But it's all right because I wrote it down. I just don't know what the exact parlay odds are going to be. Well, we're going to need... I think I don't. I'll help you out. All right, but first, I'm going to go 4 legs this time. Oh, feeling froggy. Oh, yeah. We're going 4 legs because I feel really good about all these. I'm going to go with 2 college football games, soccer, and then back to the UFC, of course. All right, so tonight, Tennessee takes on Ball State. Well, you know me. I love balls. Right. Ball. Well, tonight you don't because we're taking Tennessee -35. And so the thing is, these lines have been moving a ton, the 2 games that I'm looking at. But Tennessee was at 35.5 last night. I think it went up to like 36.5. Yes. And then it went back down to 35. But so whatever it is, I like Tennessee a lot. This is more of, they're going to have a fast offense. They're going to want to showcase it tonight. But this is more about Ball State. They are traditionally slow starters to the season. The last 2 seasons, they have covered once in the first 4 games of the season. I don't know how many of those times they were 36.5-point dogs, though. Keep that in mind. I just don't know. They can't cover. That's the trend, and it's going to continue. So we're getting off to a big win tonight with Tennessee in the Volunteers against Ball State. Bold. Next. You think it's bold? Okay. Tomorrow night, we're going to go to Duke against Temple in college football. This Temple team is going to be bad. Their win total is 2.5. They fired their last head coach. I forget what his name was, but he was a really bad guy. Nobody liked him. So they're moving in the right direction. It wasn't Rod Carey, was it? I think it was Rod Carey. It was. But yeah, it was like a very toxic environment. So I think they lost some players. Stan Drayton is the new head coach. I think they're moving in the right direction, but they're not going to write it against Duke tomorrow night.
because Duke also got a new head coach, but they got Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M, so he'll bring in some SEC guys with him, I'm sure. And that line was Duke minus 6.5 last night, and then this morning when I was looking at it again, they went up to 9.5, and now I think it's settled at 7.5. Either way, I like Duke a lot here. Temple is not going to be good. I don't think they even know who their quarterback is. And so, yeah, Duke should, even if it gets up to 9.5 again, I still like that. So I'd like Duke by double digits, so I'll take them in the points tomorrow night.
All right.
Then we'll go Saturday morning before the huge college football slates. I'm going to go to soccer over in England. Leeds takes on Brentford. My Leeds United.
Oh, your Leeds United.
Yeah, they are my Leeds United.
I didn't know
so
that.
I'm taking. I'm going to take Leeds to win or draw. If you go to double chance a little bit down, you can get Leeds or the draw, and that's minus 150. So if they win or tie with Brentford, that one hits. And Leeds, they've only lost once in their last 7 matchups with Brentford. Brentford's playing a little over their heads after that 4-0 thrashing of Man U a couple Saturdays ago.
Right.
But Leeds is also kind of playing over their heads.
Everybody knows these things.
Yes, Leeds is also playing a little bit over their heads, but they're the better team because they're more experienced. And even if something wonky happens, the draw covers you. So
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point, Griffin. And then there's one more still.
And there's one more. We're going to the UFC. UFC returns this weekend. They were off last Saturday, much to my disappointment because I love watching the UFC. But so we're going to go to the co-main right before Tai Tuivasa takes on Cyril Gane in the main event in France this weekend is where the UFC is. But in the co-main event, Robert Whittaker is taking on Marvin Vettori. And so Robert Whittaker, he's gone to decision in 6 of his last 7. And all but 2 of Marvin Vettori's 12 UFC fights have gone the distance. So this one's definitely going the distance, and I think Robert's just the straight-up better fighter. So we're going to get him at better odds to win by decision, minus 120. He'll be able to defend the takedown enough that, it doesn't go to the mat, which is where Marvin Vettori would get all his points. So they're going to stay on the feet where Robert Whittaker will dominate Marvin Vettori and cruise to a minus 120 decision. And that parlay, I think, comes out to around plus 1,000.
It is exactly plus 1,000, in fact. Exactly plus 1,000.
Throw
10 to 1.
Throw $5 on that.
And you get
make quick 50 or 10. Make 100.
These would be your options, though. That would be the
or throw more.
I'm not sure I'm ready to get that froggy, Griffin. I'm not sure I'm ready to get that froggy. All right, that's Griffin's gratuitous grouping for this week. Again, Duke and Tennessee covering their numbers. Leeds or the draw. Leeds winning or drawing at minus 150. And Robert Whittaker by the points at minus 120. Put that together. It is a plus 1,000 parlay. That's Griffin's gratuitous grouping for the week.
Was it plus 1,000 even?
Even plus 1,000.
All right.
At the moment, that obviously will change whenever you get there. But at the moment, plus 1,000. Get that ticket in. We'll see if Griffin can make it back to back. We will see you next Tuesday for Simply the Bets as we will officially be into NFL season. That will be what we'll be talking about throughout the course of next week. Weekend at Bookies again 2 weeks from today. Thanks to Brad Kronthal. Thanks to Andrew Stetka. For Griffin, I'm Glenn. May the odds be ever in your favor.